Hello and welcome to Dish and Tell, the place where stories linger long after the last bite. And before we get into this episode, I just want to pause and ask you something. When was the last time you actually fixed something that was broken? You took the time to repair it rather than just toss it in the trash and buy something new. That's really the question I've been sitting with since I recorded this episode with Madysen Rosenberg over a batch of Brown Butter Miso Donuts. These are decidedly not your grandma's old-fashioned donuts, although as it turns out, Maddie's grandma is kind of the whole point of this conversation. Because Maddie grew up under a multi-generational roof. She grew up with her grandma right down the hall, so they were sharing donuts and black coffee together on the regular. Her grandma taught her how to sew and really taught her how to pause and take inventory of the things that she has. What can she fix? What can she donate? What can she repair? What can she pass on? And this has everything to do with what she's doing now to combat throwaway consumerism right here in Bozeman. So together we get into the SHEIN-Everlane acquisition, the stat about textile waste that will genuinely break your heart, and why repair just might be the most radical thing any of us can do right now. So as you listen, I'd love for you to think about the things in your life that are worth fixing and what it might mean to slow down enough to actually do it. And if you live in the Bozeman area, save the date for Saturday, June 13th. Maddie is hosting a repair fair with her pals at Studio Wheelhouse from 1 to 5 p.m. and it will be a great opportunity to give your used gear a new life, a little extra love. Okay, so let's get to it. I'm so glad you're here. Maddie girl, welcome to Dish and Tell. So excited to have you here.
I'm so excited too.
I'm
so looking forward to this.
I've been looking forward to sitting down with you because it's been a minute since we've hung out, and also to eat these donuts.
Yes, they look fantastic.
When your request was for donuts, I was like, ooh, okay, this is a fun little challenge, especially because you said the nostalgic ones were really the cake-like kind of store-bought donuts.
Yes.
So just let's start there. Talk to me about that before I really dig into what we have in front of us.
Yes, so they had to be cake old-fashioned donuts.
Okay.
And I see you put your own little twist on it, which I'm really excited about, and I can't wait to try. But they had to be old-fashioned donuts because I grew up with generational living with my grandmother.
That's
and
sweet.
My grandma and grandpa always had old-fashioned donuts.
So in powdered sugar or what? Like
Plain. And they were actually really, really particular about their donuts to the point where it was really hard to get donuts to please them.
It was like stressful.
Yeah, we had to find the perfect donut. And so they had to be plain, old-fashioned donuts, and they had to be the right shape. They had to be the bumpy,
okay. Like more of a stick versus like a...
No, round and then like with the crispy edges.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
okay.
So that was very key.
Okay.
Also.
This would not please your grandparents then at all. Maybe they're taste buds, but we don't have any ridges. These are baked, not fried, so they're not crispy. But they come together so fast. I mean, from start to finish, dishes done and everything, they take about 30 minutes, which...
No, she would be really intrigued by this. And if it tasted good, she'd be into it.
Okay, so... First, you gotta taste it.
Yeah.
So I did do a pretty classic, like nutmeg and vanilla to start.
I'm excited.
And it just felt a little flat to me. So I said, how can I add a twist and make it a little different? And so I love brown butter. I just think it adds a depth, a warmth, a nuttiness that you can't match. And I love miso. And so these are brown butter miso glazed donuts where there's a little sesame oil inside. I topped some with flaky sea salt and sesame seeds, some just with flaky sea salt, and some don't have any of the sea salt. I just love a salty sweet.
Yeah,
so
I
went a little
really
nuts.
like the salty and sweet. And I really think my grandparents would like this because if they didn't have donuts, they would also have coffee cookies to dunk in their coffee.
Like
they
a little
dunked it in the
biscotti or
coffee.
something?
Yeah, there was a couple different ones depending on what they could find in the store. And a lot of them had this kind of balance of the not too sweet, not too salty type of thing because they were good for dunking in the coffee.
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually, this is a bit of a side story to the story, but I was visiting.
Take us there.
I was visiting my mom recently, and she is all excited and drags me into the kitchen, and she goes, "Look what I found at the store," and I was like, "Okay," and she brings out this box, and it was windmill-shaped cookies that we used to dunk in coffee.
So
my grandma did.
nostalgic.
Yeah.
I love that.
And having that little moment that we both kind of shared from having those kind of breakfast, sweet treat, coffee, cookie moments. But it was always something that had this particular taste of a little bit of sweet, a little bit of not, that complemented each other like this. And so she would really, really like this.
Oh, I love that. So was it kind of a daily ritual, a weekend ritual? Would you sit down together as a fam? Talk to me about it. Help me understand.
So this was not good for her health. But but she lived a really long time. A really long time. So every morning and every night, right before she went to bed, she had a cup of coffee and a treat, especially at night.
Wait, right before she went to bed, she could have like full calf coffee? That's impressive.
Yeah, black coffee like this.
Yeah.
And a treat, especially at night. Sometimes for breakfast, she'd have a piece of toast or bacon.
Yeah.
Which is also not...
Respect, Grandma. Yeah.
But at night, every time she'd have a treat and a full cup of coffee.
Okay, so this actually wasn't your breakfast ritual. This was like we're winding down the day.
shot.
Okay.
Yeah. But at least once a day. Yeah.
I like your grandma.
So
Yeah.
she was always down for a sweet treat.
My kind of gal. This coffee I love too because what we're sipping today is from one of my favorite local roasters, Roly Poly. They have a couple locations in Bozeman. There's one near my house, and this is their classic no fuss daily driver blend. So there's a little cocoa, stone fruit, graham, and it's just good. And one of the reasons why I wanted to get coffee from Roly Poly as well is because I know we need to catch up about sustainability, specifically through that fashion clothing lens. A lot has happened lately, I think, on a big scale, but also here on a local scale, and some of the things that you are doing that I want to hear more about. But Roly Poly, it's a vintage heaven. It is just this really eclectic space that, have you been there?
I haven't, but that's really good, and I definitely will now. That's
Yes. Okay. Well,
coffee.
Our next date will have to be a coffee date there. I think you'll get a kick out of it because it's, celebrating reused things, repurposed things, vintage things, and it's just really fun and quirky and cool. And that kind of, I think, just leads me to one of the things I want to talk to you about, which is upcycling, shopping vintage. You're always encouraging me to do that. Let's pause because I always love to ask where you got your looks because they're so good, and you like introduce me to different finds and places. So talk to me about what you're wearing.
Thank you. This whole thing is thrifted.
Love that.
I got this in my jeans at Goodwill. This is a little shop in Arizona, and then my shoes as well.
Yeah.
What about you? I love your overalls.
Oh, thank you.
They're so cute.
I feel like thank you very much. And I feel like we're so lucky where we've got a lot of really rad vintage spots and really good pickers in our community. So I got these at Rare Bird Vintage Shop downtown Bozeman. I got this tank top at a yard sale a couple summers ago.
Those are the best.
The best. So yeah, just kept it pretty simple today. But I always get a kick out of when somebody compliments my outfit and I'm like, the whole thing is thrifted, or this was thrifted, you know? Like, doesn't it feel like this point of pride?
Yeah. Oh my God. I love that. And we have such a vibrant community, like you said, around here. There's so much.
So much.
It's amazing.
Bozeman Vintage is another great place where I get really lucky. In Livingston, Ludale is another great shop. What are some of your favorites?
I was actually in Cash for Clothes the other day and I found a really cute tank top and like this really fun, it's a really unique color pink cardigan.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have a ton around here. I need to venture more into Livingston.
Yeah.
Because Livingston is coming up with a bunch of cute shops.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, they're really expanding, and that's really fun to see.
Yeah, absolutely. So have you always been passionate about thrifting and finding vintage things and not necessarily shopping brand new?
I feel like yes. And I think a part of that kind of stemmed from growing up with my grandma. I grew up learning how to knit and cross stitch.
I love
and
knitting.
embroider. Yeah, I feel like it's really coming back. You know how to knit?
I think so too. You know, I'm really bad at casting on, but I know how to knit once I get there. So a good friend of mine said that she would sit down with me and help me get back into the groove because it's such a cool meditation, honestly.
It's so soothing, just sitting down. And you can make so many different things. I mean, you can make the cutest beanies. And then with embroidery, there's a bunch of fun stuff now with kind of upcycling clothes. You can repair a lot of things.
Darning is so cool.
Oh, yes.
I want to learn how to do that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That is a really fun thing. And there's classes now in town.
Oh, cool.
Too,
I didn't know that.
Which is really fun. It's really fun to see a lot of the classes now that are coming up with more of those hands-on type of crafts and seeing that come back to life.
Yeah.
What type of things would you like to learn?
Darning, for sure, is up there, which is, for anyone listening who doesn't know, it's when you're just basically repairing holes by adding colored stitches, like pretty thick stitches in this crisscross pattern. And I think doing that on elbows of different shirts or even like different socks that are maybe a little well-loved would be super cool. And I think, honestly, just getting into the flow with knitting. I'd love to make some sick ponchos.
Yes.
That would be real fun. Like,
you could rock an awesome poncho.
What a move. And if you could have a little hood on it and the little like pom-pom strings coming down, it's a whole vision that I've got in my brain. So you'll be the first one I make it for.
Oh my God, yes. I want a Kayla branded poncho.
Yes.
I do.
Okay. Noted.
I'm going to hold you to that. I really am. Okay. I'm going to find you the classes and I'm going to hold you to and give you a poncho.
You'll be checking in like, hey, how's it going? Can I see a progress update of my poncho?
And make you a whole plan.
Perfect. I need that. Well, and how fun and how cool to be able to like make your own things, especially in light of what's happening in the fashion world right now in general. I mean, I've been dying to talk to you about SHEIN's acquisition of Everlane, which, I mean, it rocked me. Like, how did you feel when you heard that?
Are we gonna dive in? How deep are we going to get? Oh my God. Yeah, that's wild. I'm sure that really fascinates you with your marketing background.
Big time. Because, you know, it's like SHEIN's this ultra fast fashion juggernaut and buying Everlane, this brand that really built its identity on ethical factories and radical transparency and really trying to be conscious of its carbon footprint. It just feels like, what? And my brain just really can't compute how two brands that truly couldn't be more philosophically opposed are coming together. And I'm just reminded of this 2024 study that Yale did where SHEIN was named the biggest polluter in fast fashion. They have an enormous carbon footprint, given this really heavy reliance on virgin polyester, air freight, and their use of AI. They use AI to track different trends and anticipate what consumers might want to buy and help in the designing process so that they can get things out even faster. And it's just that constant churn and burn of new things.
It's overwhelming the amount of negative impact that SHEIN has, to the point where France has banned SHEIN and fast fashion advertising. Yeah, they are imposing fines. You also mentioned the fast churning. It never used to be like that. And that has been such a crazy turn to see. It's almost weekly, where we used to produce things seasonally. And we used to shop seasonally. We never used to just see things constantly turned out like this. That's a good point. In the 60s, people used to buy less than 25 garments a year, and now we buy 50 to 70. That's wild. Multiple a month.
Yeah.
And it's just such a huge change and impact in our environment because of that switch of consumerism.
Yeah.
And then the use of AI, like you said, brings a whole new element.
Yeah. Well, and I think about marketing and its role in all of this too, and changing those consumer habits, or influencing those consumer habits, where that is such a wild stat. I just want to say that again. So in the 60s, people bought less than 25 garments a year, and now people are buying between 50 to 70 new garments.
Yeah.
Wow. And that's shocking.
They maybe bought 2 a month. Maybe.
Yeah.
And that's probably if they were doing well.
Yeah.
Right? And so maybe 1 or 2 a month to multiple a month of new garments.
Yeah.
So then I sit there and I think, when did I buy a new piece of clothing?
Yeah.
Right? Because we talked about our outfits are thrifted.
Yeah.
Right? So when did you buy something new?
Yeah.
And you think back to that.
One of the things I get a little frustrated by is when sustainability is kind of weaponized as this marketing tool. And that's just what I feel when I look at this SHEIN-Everlane buy and how this is all coming together. Everlane wasn't without fault. They didn't do things perfectly, and there was room for improvement, but they also head and shoulders above and beyond SHEIN. And to think that SHEIN is basically buying credibility in a green halo without actually changing its practices and the work through this, it's like, ooh. It just, to me, feels like sustainability as a concept within the fashion space, at least, has been so diluted at this point that it just doesn't carry the same weight that I think it once did.
That is definitely a good point. And to take that even further, the CEO of Everlane, I read that he had released a statement saying, basically, don't worry, we're not going to lose Everlane. We're still going to be the same company. And how do you do that? Like you said, when SHEIN is like this big, massive black cloud, how do you still be Everlane?
Yeah.
When you guys are so polar opposites, and what does that look like with the marketing? Like you talked about, is it just kind of fake?
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. And I think that, people recognize this moment and talk about it like we are here, or go online and we'll kind of mourn the death of Everlane and what this all means. But it's really up to us to do some things different, to make some different choices, to let our wallets speak volumes as well. So yes, it will certainly be interesting. And I mean, I just think that we really are starting to see the consequences of this consumer culture in a really big way, and scary way. I was reading that globally, 92 million tons of textile waste ends up in landfills every year. That's one full-size garbage truck every second. Doesn't that just break your heart?
So much. You can't even fathom that amount. I can't even recognize how much that is.
Yeah.
Every second.
I know.
You know, you can't even think of that amount of.
I know, it's true. It's true.
Yeah. And it's, where does all of that go? You know, it just piles up, and you see photos of it just piling and piling and piling.
Yeah. Well, that's why I just always appreciate sitting down with you and sharing conversation with you, because you come with some solutions. And granted, they might not be tackling, 92 million tons of clothing. But
if only.
If only. But in our community and in the ways that you can influence and impact change, I think you really are. And I think that one of the most effective ways to combat throwaway consumerism is to really embrace the repair, repurpose, and reuse movement. And that is exactly what you are doing. You're hosting a repair fair. And I got to know, when is it? Where is it? What are the details? Because I'm so curious.
Yes. So Hidden Gem Market is hosting a repair fair, and we are having it June 13th from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. at Studio Wheeled House, because like you said, it is so important, that movement. It really does make a difference. Instead of just consume, really repairing that thing that you love and bringing it back to life.
Totally. Finding ways to extend the lifespan of goods through mending and just creative upcycling, secondhand circulation, just really trying to minimize putting those things into a landfill or just out of your home and making it somebody else's problem.
Yeah. And so, like you said, reducing that and bringing that any one piece out of the landfill. And we even have a station where you can repair outdoor gear.
I love that.
And in Montana, that's huge because that tent is expensive.
It is expensive. Totally. Well, and I think too, like the way that food carries memories and carries stories, I think our gear can too.
Yeah.
When you take that backpack out and you're like, man, this was with me when I did that amazing through hike, or a tent, and you can picture a sunrise that you took in from that with some friends. It's really special. And to be able to extend the life of that despite a zipper maybe being a little problematic. So will you have zipper repair? Will you be fixing holes and things? Like, tell me more about the gear repair aspect.
So we will have a Mystery Ranch there repairing gear. And then we'll also have the sewing shop there doing zipper repair specifically.
Oh, cool.
So you really can do both.
That. Yeah.
And so we'll have a lot of avenues for you to be able to do repair. And then we also will have a separate station where people will do small repairs on clothing and accessories.
Oh, nice.
So really just about anything that you want repaired.
You mentioned in passing before we were able to get together that there's going to be an embroidery station too.
Oh, yeah. I love embroidery. So I have this item that I want to embroider flowers on, and in the middle have like little buttons.
Cute.
Yes,
okay.
I think that would be so cute. I just want to elevate it.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I think it'd just be so endearing.
Yeah.
And
Give it some new life.
Yeah. And we did this last year, and I was embroidering pine trees.
Cute.
Yeah, it was really fun. And so we'll have an embroidery and button station, and then we also have a shoe shining station.
Okay. All right. Okay, but shoe shine, can I bring my hiking boots and get them dusted off and cleaned, or is it really like leather? Okay. Listen, I didn't know. I quickly was like, wait, do I have shoes that even have the right material to be shined?
I'm not the shoe shiner. The owners of Studio Wheeled House are. They would know.
Okay.
Bring them. Why not? They might be able to do something.
Now, if I have anything that I want to like swap or exchange, can I bring that or no?
No, that would be specifically a clothing swap, which Forward Montana and the Craft Supply both do clothing swaps.
Oh, cool.
Which are an amazing resource as well. And that's another way to help keep things out of the landfill.
So you've shared some incredible ways that here in our community we can take advantage of the events that you're hosting and just be more mindful and combat this throwaway consumerism on our own turf. What are some other maybe less obvious things that people in our community, but outside of our community could do too. One of the things I'm seeing is more and more people really committed to clothing swaps and exchanges.
Yes.
And I'm seeing groups of women, my friends included, getting together and being like, hey, we're going to open up some wine and bring 5 things that you want to get rid of for someone else, or bring, a handful of things and let's photograph them and post them on Poshmark or something to sell. That is a trend that I think is great. And I just love the ethos behind it. Are you seeing things like that as well, or anything else that might just inspire people to take action in maybe a less obvious way?
Yeah, I definitely see that a lot, which I think is so great. Being able to go on the social medias, what? Why am I a boomer? Oh my God, I'm 70.
Oh my God.
What was I saying? Okay. Yes, I definitely see that. And I've definitely seen a huge trend of people creating Instagrams and then doing that as
like
well.
Instagram yard sales. Yes.
Yeah,
Totally.
that uptick in digital.
Yes.
Going more digital, which I really, really love. And then also this culture more of borrowing versus going out and buying. Which I do really like a lot. Having more of a communal space for things, I think, is also really important. You might not need to go and buy that. You can borrow it from a friend, borrow it from a neighbor.
I think that's a good reminder, too, as we move into wedding season. You want a fresh look. You want to look confident, feel good. You don't always have to buy something brand new to achieve that. And shopping, air quotes on that, in our friends' closets, I think is a really fantastic way to just be more mindful about what our overall footprint is as well.
That is a really great point for the wedding market. Yeah.
So as we start to wrap things up here, our coffee is getting a little cold. We need a refill.
Okay with that.
What do you hope lingers after this conversation, like a really good donut, like a really good dessert?
These were fantastic, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you liked them.
Oh, I loved them. I might have to steal some from the road.
Absolutely.
And that's a really fantastic question. And I think as fast fashion is on the rise and we see the quality of things go down. Sink.
Yep.
I think the most radical thing that you can do right now is really slow down and put a lot of care into the things you love.
Yeah, I love that. I think we always need a reminder and an invitation to slow down. So I appreciate that, Maddie. And don't forget to go to the Hidden Gem Repair Fair on June 13th, 1 to 5 p.m., Studio Wheelhouse. Be there or be square. Yeah.
Jazz up all your stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to be so much fun.
It will be. Maddie, I love you and I love what you're doing for our community.
I love you too. This was amazing.
Oh, thank
and
you.
I love coming and talking to you today.
Yeah, this is really fun.
This is amazing. I love you doing this for our community.
Oh, thank you.
This is such a treat. So
Thank
cool.
you. Thank you. You're welcome at my table anytime, especially with requests as yummy as this. And I love all of you who pulled up a chair and joined us. Thank you for tuning in to Dish and Tell. If you liked this episode, the easiest way to show your support is to like and follow the podcast. And as always, my brown butter miso donut recipe is available on my Substack, so be sure to check it out.
Check it out. So good.
And get cooking. Until next time, buon appetito!